Podcast. We are back with another video. Enough said, meet the Simmons. So today we have a video from one of our favorite YouTubers, Dear Future Wifey Podcast. This is a former Miss America, and she's talking about setting the bar too low. So I think that's something we really need to look at from a different perspective. And we'll be right back.
You know, sometimes the bar is just too low. You know, and I feel like even for myself, I just feel like the bar had just been too low for so many years where it's just everyone can access the bar. But I feel like sometimes there's like this societal pressure, especially on Black women, to just make sure that the bar is reachable. And I feel like we have to be careful about that, because then if everyone can reach the bar, then there's no real standard of, you know, partnership.
Lashana, you just preached the whole sermon right there.
All right. So I understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
But I want to look at it from a male perspective.
Okay.
And I want to try to break this down for the people who are watching this.
Okay.
So what she's saying is the bar is usually set too low. Now what happens when that bar is set too low? That's the problem. And this is what she's missing. When the woman sets her bar too low in the beginning stages of her life, starts dating, that's where all the trauma happens, the hurt, the pain, the cheating, all the things, the abuse that everybody talks about. That's where all that happens at. Then she has this epiphany, and sadly, she mentioned Black women. Sadly, a lot of women don't reach that epiphany until they're in their 30s or older, got a few kids, a lot of trauma. Then they all of a sudden want to raise this bar up to the roof. Well, as a man, that just doesn't work for us. You gave 10 other dudes access to you. Some people have access to your womb. Some women have children. And now me, good guy John, comes along, and now I ain't having sex before marriage. I don't want no more kids. I get the dregs of what's left over, and I got
to be making a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, and I got to climb Mount Kilimanjaro when the other dudes didn't have to do anything but just be.
Yeah.
And so that's where the frustration is, and I think that nobody understands it. And I understand what she's saying. You can't. People grow and develop. These things happen, and if she can't understand it from a male perspective, she's looking at it from a totally feminine perspective.
I think it's so much easier to already have, in a perfect world, if all things are being equal, in a perfect world, it would be your bar is already where it's supposed to be because you've got the proper nurturing, upbringing, all of that. So that's a perfect world. We know that.
Yeah, nobody lives in that.
And no one lives in that, exactly. The other side of that also is, in order to raise the bar, there is a tremendous amount of work that has to happen, a tremendous amount of healing that has to happen in order for the bar to be properly raised. Not an inflated bar.
With the proper perspective.
Right, and not this inflated bar, and not a bar that moves.
Oh yeah.
Not the moving bar, not the I'm gonna move the goalpost as it suits me, not that crap, but a real, true healing growth so that your bar can really be reestablished where it should be in proper perspective, and proper perspective of who you are, of what your station in life, all of those things being in there. But it's gonna take a lot of healing to do that, and many women, unfortunately, are not willing to do that. They manipulate, they use sign language, they use these other tactics because it's easy. Because to really heal past things that happened in my childhood, someone mishandling me, all the things that may have happened, that's a lot of work. But if you really want to raise that, you can, but the work has to be done.
Yeah, and by bar we mean standards. That's
standards, yeah.
Like there's a lot of things to be discussed here. I agree with her. A woman should have her bar set high. You can grow and develop and change and things like that, but it has to be in a certain perspective. And you have to have realistic expectations, and most women do not have that.
And it starts with us being approachable. It starts with us being humble. It starts with us being honest. And those are qualities that you just aren't seeing a whole lot of anymore. We can't be told anything, and we're never wrong. And and how dare you hold me accountable? That's a cuss word to me. And then that's where we have this issue. And when it is time, like you said, you have these epiphanies in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. Now a gentleman has to say, I'm sorry, is the juice worth the squeeze? Yeah. That's the reality of it. And it's just so much easier if, man, in your teen years, you submit yourself to some sort of authority where you're listening and growing and soaking things in like a sponge. In your early 20s, you find a solid lady that you can really be mentored by. If it's not your own mom, then it's someone you can look up to. But Today's mentality of the woman is, modern women, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to be told anything. I do what feels great to me. And then you have these issues. And when we're trying to tell y'all this, and we're coming at you, I don't care what the approach is, loving, stern, it doesn't matter. We can repackage it and try to present it. And most of my sisters were rejected. And it's sad to watch.
That you just said it, an older woman. Where are the older women? Where are the older women coming out and saying, sweetheart, don't do? The older women are competing with the younger women.
They got nastier attitudes.
Yes.
They are set in their ways.
Absolutely. And then you have a woman like my wife who is a wife, has been a wife for a very long time, successfully done that, had careers, been stay-at-home mom, done it all. And she gets up here and says a few things and women lose their minds on her. Some of the nastiest comments we've ever gotten about has been women attacking my wife. Well, she is everything that y'all say y'all want. But the problem is
they don't want to do the work.
They don't want to do the work. And then so they're not even talking to the young ladies. They are the example to these young ladies now. So we're looking at the fruit of our generation's labor in our young children. We're Gen Xers. We can get mad at the millennials and the zennials, but who raised them?
Yeah, exactly.
What did they see? So we have to own that too. And when it comes to that, I own my stuff with the men. We talk about that stuff, but women have to own their stuff too. With that, that's enough said.